do all coffees taste the same? Are we wasting our time having these different recipes and all that stuff? It smelled like it tasted. All recipes work because they do. All recipes do work. We lie right now. I said I was talking to a friend and we were talking about coffee and business and things to do. And well, the topic is, as I pour my cup of coffee, because this is in fact a coffee podcast, is that do all coffees taste the same? Okay, let me back up. What I mean by that is that if we're using the same water, essentially the same technique, and using the same grinder, does that one coffee taste the same? Yeah, it does. Yes, there's variations of it a little bit. It's not saying that it's not different. Oh, that's pretty good. I'm not saying that's not different, but it's one of those things to where you know that it's essentially the same coffee. I feel that a lot about actually roasting coffee. Yeah, there's different profiles. There's different ways to like rate a rise and keep it consistent. You treat each coffee differently, but for the most part, whatever that coffee is, that's what that coffee is going to taste like. Yes, you have different degrees of roasting and all that. That may change the variation of the way the coffee tastes. But if we're saying that this coffee is what it is, that's what it is. And same thing with brewing. And Hario V60 is the king. There are other brewers out there, there really are. But to me and like a lot of people, what I'm understanding is that they love their Hario V60 because it's so versatile. You can get the ceramic one, you can get the glass one, you can get the plastic, which that's the one I usually have. I actually think I have all of them. I have the size 2 ceramic. I think that was my first one. And then when I was doing my farmer's market, I ordered like 10 or 15 plastic because they're cheaper, of course, and they won't break. So now I'm down to 2. I think 2. Yeah, I'm down to 2. I gave some out here and there. And then the glass one I have is from the Switch, which I actually just brewed a cup of coffee from. I'll talk about that soon. And for the most part, the coffees do taste what they taste like, especially if it's the same coffee. On the previous podcast, I talked about brewing with emotions. And it was good. It was fine. No problems whatsoever. But the thing about it was that for the most part, all the coffees had some degree of variation, but for the most part, they did taste the same. There's only one coffee that I mostly mimicked, and I'm tasting it right now. And it is this Brazilian, and it has more of a lemony acidity, soft acidity to it, not violent in the mouth whatsoever. But it has more of a lemony type of smell. No, it doesn't. It has a lemony type of finish on it. It's very subtle, but it's there. You know it's there. However, when I brewed a cup of coffee from the Mr. Coffee machine, Brewing with Emotions, it was fruity. It was juicy. It was right in your face. It smelled like it tasted. See, the way it smelled, no matter what, was a big, juicy red fruit type of smell. It was... I was chasing that. I was chasing that type of taste in the cup. And even with me just trying different things and seeing what I can get out of the coffee, it really didn't work out well until I had this Mr. Coffee cup. And it did taste different. It did taste juicy. And I mimicked it mostly in the brew that I just did. I used a Hario V60 Switch. Still there. Just woke up, so got a little toothpaste brush and all, toothpaste taste on it and everything. But I use a Hario V60 Switch on the open valve. So it's essentially a Hario V60. No bloom, 18 grams in, about 246 water in the grounds. Consistent 1 pour. And that was it. I mimicked the Mr. Coffee machine as much as possible. And it's mostly there. It's probably like 185, 190 degrees. Did it in the Hario kettle, the black one, not that bumblebee type of gray one. I don't think that matters much, but the black one is a lot better. The pour is a lot better. But yeah, that's what I did. That's what I essentially did, and it worked out just fine. And it's one of those things to where, yes, do I taste it being more juicy? more vibrant, more red fruit than lemonade after finish? Yes, it is. It's there, it's present, but it still mimics or has the characteristics of the other brews. So, well, what am I saying here? Are we wasting our time having these different recipes and all that stuff? Or do we need to realize that the coffee tastes the way it tastes? And we have to accept that. I think that's the issue or the thing that I have gone through quite a bit. You know, it's like the coffee, I want it to taste more so like it smells. And I think that's a topic for another day. But it's one of those things to where we're like, okay, how can we get the best out of this coffee? What are we really doing here? Because if it's essentially all the recipes are the same and we think that it's a little slightly different, then are we truly really just wasting our time on this? You know, we just do a simple center pour, couple pulses, 3 pulses, 4 pulses, whatever. It doesn't matter, right? It still tastes more so the same, right? Those are the questions that I want to get figured out and answered, even though I'm doing all this extraction stuff and figuring things out and giving information, tips and tricks as I test them out to people. You know, that's kind of like where I'm at, and it's kind of fun. But again, are we wasting our time? That's really the question here. Are we wasting our time with doing this to the beans, tempering them, or singing Holy Jesus to them whenever we try to brew a cup of coffee to see if that matters as much as we think that it does? It's like 2 weeks, so we'll see what we can do with this coffee. It is in a cloth filter too, so it's going to be a little bit more muddy than a paper filter, but it was good to change it up too. So why are we doing this? What are we really truly doing in this whole game? Does it just give us something to do, to geek out on? Or do we understand and express ourselves through coffee, through other coffees? Do we try different coffees at the same time? What is it that we try to do for others and people and all that stuff? Those are some of the things that I would like to explore more, understand more, or really just understand it from the people's mouth, because I'm just one person. I can talk all day long about coffee, why it's good, why it's not, the rituals that we have, the favorite brewers that we do use and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm just one person. I would love to just hear from other people. It's going to happen more and more as we go down this rabbit hole of understanding the things that we're trying to do. But that's really the question. I never really answered it, I guess. But for the most part, let's just say this. Let's just say hypothetically that all recipes work, because they do. All recipes do work, no matter what. It's Hario V60, right? That's the king of everything, right? But let's just say you use whatever brewer that you want to, okay? How else are you loving and expressing yourself through coffee? A little bit, but what does all that stuff mean? I don't know. I truly, really don't know what that means and why it's important. And I think the reason why it's important is because it gives us something to do, gives us something to gravitate to, something to hold that's dear and near to our hearts, something that we can say that we are either experts at, that we love it, that it's us. It's us. I think that's what it is. It's just us. And as we understand coffee even more so, we're going down deep into this rabbit hole of like wondering how much do we really truly know. This is Okie at Everyday Beans signing out. Talk to you later. Bye.